One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Trump, everybody they know, they gonna vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again.
Woo!
I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah, Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
Welcome back, everybody, here on a Saturday afternoon, a glorious Saturday afternoon here in South Florida. It is bright, it is sunny, it is awesomely cool, not hot. I know some of you guys are up north and it's probably cold where you are, but it's a short sleeve kind of hang out by the pool and barbecue kind of day. And those of you guys who, and I did see you, thank you very, very, very much. Many of you are like, where the hell's Barry last night? Did something happen? Is something wrong? You ever see like when the refs come out before a football game and it starts lightning and they call the game, or the umpires call the game because of rain or something? The umpire called my game last night. The umpire meaning the woman out there. She's like, no, you're done. You've pushed so hard. You did those 10 rallies in those 3 days. You've been doing 2 and 3 shows per day. My time. I'm like, hey, you're the boss. You're the boss. So last night got called to kind of rain, and I spent some time with the wife and refreshed and got to bed somewhat early because I wasn't up looking at news. And then today I decided, all right, so let me just make up. We're gonna be here for a while. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff happened, and I think some of you guys have seen it. So let me just tell you right now, I had posted something. I'll show it to you now. I just want to bring this to your attention. I want to bring it to your attention right now. I hope y'all realize that this won't be easy. You know, he won in a landslide, but the theme of this show is get ready. It's already begun. These people are not going to stop trying to destroy America. In fact, they're going into overdrive. And unfortunately, they've got some help with some Republicans. You see, I hope your strength will be tested, your mind will be tested, and your faith will be tested. But if you truly want to help save that flag and for what it stands for, you better be ready. Because the Democrats, I don't know if they've hypnotized their entire, all of the people in Congress and Senate, but if Biden was running or Biden nominated somebody, it would basically be, 51 or 52 every single time, lockstep, they would get the guy in that they want. The Republicans got some snakes in there. It is not going to be smooth sailing. That's why he's going to have to use these recess appointments, because until we can primary out these House pond scum that are calling themselves and masquerading themselves as Republicans, it seems like the fight is just going to keep continuing. Even the Republicans don't want to clean things up. A good number of them. I'm hearing anywhere between, if it's secret, 10 and 15 don't want to see Trump do what he's getting ready to do and are willing to downvote all of his people. They don't want it. Nope. We want it just as it is. We're getting paid nicely from these lobbyists and Big Pharma and everybody else. Don't come in here trying to upset the apple cart. Meanwhile, Trump, along with you and me, want to lift this apple cart and not overturn it, but actually toss it into the river. A wholesale cleansing. It has to happen. And when you see today's show, you are going to realize you do need to be ready to fight. You do need to be ready to make sure your mind is in the right place. And you're really going to have to make sure your faith is in the right place, because they're going to use your Christianity. They're going to use your faith against you. They're hoping that you become a pacifist and stay a pacifist, because the more you look the other way, the more you look the other cheek and try to say, everything's okay, let's just talk about it. There is no talking moving forward. Because if they're not willing to talk, and if they're not willing to even cede you an inch, there's no compromise. They want nothing to do with you. So when you face an opponent that has no desire to even listen to you, they want nothing to do with you. They don't care if you just cease to be on this planet. There is no negotiation. There is no middle ground. There is no reaching across the aisle. It's over. And I know to some people, that's a very hard thing to accept. You've been taught all your life, hey, listen, let's talk it out. Let's see if we can't figure out some common ground. Let's there's more than what unites us than divides us. It sounds good as a campaign strategy. And I do believe there are many, many people who believe what we believe to a certain extent, but not the ones that matter in terms of how our country is governed. They are no longer listening to constituents. They don't give a shit about the American citizenry. All they care about is furthering their agenda to destroy America. Their constituents be damned. They don't care. They have decided to push all in on their Marxist agenda, and they've got some Republicans who are going along with it. So it's going to be up to you and me and many of us to make sure this doesn't happen. Let me start you off with something. I want you to see just how far these people are willing to go to ram stuff down your throat, ideologically speaking.
But Democrat incumbent Bob Casey still hasn't conceded because obviously he's an election denier. Right now, Casey's trailing McCormick by about 20,000 votes, with about 80,000 left to count. Don't worry, most of those mail-in and absentee votes are in red counties. Democrats deployed their favorite dirty trickster, Mark Elias, to gum up the counting process. Someone once called him the Darth Vader with a law degree, so I'm sure he's got pure intentions. And in Bucks County, Democrat commissioners voted to break the law to help Casey. Earlier this year, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that ballots without proper signatures had to be thrown out. But Democrats don't care. They're saying, screw the law, count the ballots anyway.
I think we all know that precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country, and people violate laws anytime they want. So for me, if I violate this law, it's because I want a court to pay attention to it. And there is nothing more important than counting votes.
So those ballots should count?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's your motion?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want me to break it down further?
Nope, I got it. All right, I'll second that motion. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Wow. Democrats are trying to flip an election by counting illegal votes. How is it that no one's covering this story?
It is a common feature.
If they're willing, to go on camera, look into the camera and into the audience and say, I don't care. I don't care what the law is. It doesn't matter to me. All that matters is that we get our way. But you understand your Supreme Court in your own state said you can't do what you're doing. Screw it. People break the law all the time, so I'm going to break the law. She's admitting she's breaking the law. She's begging for a fight into court. So at this point, you have to think to yourself, you're facing an opponent who is willingly breaking the law to get their way. An elected opponent. This is Bucks County, Pennsylvania. The governor could step in at any time and say, arrest these people. They're breaking the law. The law is you cannot count these ballots, especially 10 and 11 days after the election. They don't care. I want this to go to court. I don't even care. Understanding, this isn't a civil lawsuit. She doesn't care because she's thinking it's going to go to some appellate division and they're going to appeal it. And then by then, they would have put their person in. But she doesn't understand at this point, you're committing a crime. This isn't a civil matter. This is a criminal matter. You could actually be put in jail. I don't care. I'm not giving these Republicans an inch. So you're going to count illegal ballots, knowingly count illegal ballots. That's okay with you. And then you got the guy next to you who said, yeah, I'm down with that. I'll second it. And I'm thinking, are we still in America? Did we go to some different country and we're seeing it on display here? You have to wonder, and y'all can't get pissed at me at this point, you have to wonder what happened in 2020. You see, here it is in 2024, and these people act like they have no problem breaking the law. Somebody needs to go check out the counting from Bucks County in 2016, not that it matters at this point. You have sworn officials who put their hand, I think, on a Bible and said, I will do the right thing. I'm elected. I'm doing what these people want. Nope. Don't give a shit. Don't care. We cannot have Trump get what he wants. We cannot have that happen in this state. So eventually it's going to work its way through the courts. She may or may not get arrested depending on what Josh Shapiro will do. But I'm concerned because I know certain people out there are getting a feeling that this is normal behavior. That this is something that, maybe we should get used to. The same thing happened out in Colorado. let me give out the passwords to the machine. Hopefully nobody will break into it. Huh? Oh, let's see over here in Las Vegas, Arizona rather. And we're going to have a candidate who's got more votes than the president. They don't care. It is so bad that CNN at this point is admitting it's so bad. CNN says the Democrats are actively trying to steal an election. We can now say this publicly. We don't have to step off and go, don't say stealing elections, because stealing elections, what you're implying. Oh, hold on. The woman went on camera and said, I'm going to cheat. No qualms about it. So you guys can't censor anybody who says they're trying to steal the election, because she just said, I'm stealing the election. I don't care what the Supreme Court said. Democrats in Pennsylvania are openly defying court rulings from the state Supreme Court to benefit Bob Casey. This is from the K-File, this reporter on CNN. The move by Democrats, it's a bold move. It's a bold move, Cotton, considering Trump has vowed to prosecute election cheaters. We got more lawyers. We got more people watching. I'm reading a quote. That's not how my English is. When we win, we're going to prosecute people that cheat on this election, Trump said at a rally before the election. We're going to prosecute people so at least they know that's going to happen. And this is K-File, Andy Kaczynski himself from CNN. Democrats are openly defying court rulings from the state Supreme Court. And people, and this is a quote from the woman you just saw, people violate laws anytime they want. Except for one thing, ma'am. One thing. We expect our elected officials, even at the state level, to have a higher standard than Joe the burglar. And what you are now saying is that our elected officials do not have any more scruples than Joe the burglar. You're just a common criminal who can break the law whenever you want. That's one hell of a campaign slogan. Her words, not mine. People violate laws anytime they want. An elected official said she can break the law anytime she wants. And I'm surprised a state cop or anybody hasn't gone in and put her in cuffs. I mean, seriously, if somebody broke into your house tonight, they can say, hey, listen, if I'm in Bucks County, I'm breaking in your house. We break laws all the time. That's just how it is here. How do you think you're going to stop me? Because, she just told us that people break laws all the time. It doesn't really matter. The Republicans, with Laura Trump and Michael Whatley, Republicans have asked the Pennsylvania Supreme Court to intervene in the state Senate race, alleging that several counties are violating the court's prior ruling by illegally counting undated mail-in ballots. So now you got to go through this whole process, and you got to go to the Supreme Court, and then it's Christmas time and Thanksgiving, and we don't know how fast they're going to render a decision on a law they already ruled on. Think about that. I'm a judge or justice on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and I open this case. I'm asking you to enforce the law that you already put in law. Is this candid camera? We already said it's illegal. Yeah, but there's a woman down the street here. She doesn't care that you said it's illegal. Why would a court rule again on something they've already ruled on? What they should say is, can you call Sheriff, come here. Go arrest this witch. Don't do this to me. Don't make me embarrass you in front of all these people. We already adjudicated it. We hit the gavel. We sent it out there. We wrote it. You published it. It's illegal. Don't do it. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. The governor, you have the power to step in and remove this person who, on tape, said she's going to break the law. Hey, Josh, look at the damn video. They're stealing the election. They went on film and said, we are stealing the election. And the Democrats, just looking the other way. That's why I'm telling you, get ready for this fight. It's a fight of epic proportions, which is about to happen here. I mean, I'm only going to show the resident race baiter because of what she says here. Because here is another person who's going on TV. You know, that commissioner was just a local closed circuit TV, and then it got pushed all around X, so everyone's seen it. This is a nationally televised broadcast on a television network, news network. And listen to what this race baiter says.
Of authoritarianism and fascism, that the nation is called to come together under the autocrat and accept that his incompetent lackeys are our betters. The idea that any random white guy or right-thinking woman with zero background is inherently superior to any black person or woman, no matter how many degrees or qualifications they have.
Nobody has said that. Nobody anywhere has said what she just said.
Is a conceit of fascism and ethno-nationalism that no, we...
I understand you went to school, you got educated, but all this crap of ethno-fascism, good Lord, I can't wait to have the dictionary go back to where it used to be. When was America great again? When idiots like this weren't making up words. Ethno-fascism.
Cannot come together around. We cannot come together around mass deporting millions of immigrants and potentially separating families or throwing them into internment camps. We can't come together around kicking women or gay, bi, or trans people out of the military just because Macho Man weekend TV guys said so. We cannot come together around Elon Musk, who runs an app infused with racism and misogyny and who gained that app to sway an election and now essentially co-owns a president alongside Vladimir Putin. Joe Biden is perfectly free to come together with Trump and the people who literally 3 days ago were calling him every name in the book because he's the president and therefore immune from prosecution by our soon-to-be autocrat under John Roberts' rules for American kings. So he has the privilege of coming together with the guy who quoted Hitler on his way back to the White House. Some of us do not have the privilege to come together around that.
So she's telling you. What more information do you need to see that these people are serious about ignoring you and doing whatever they need to do to get back in power? They don't care. They would rather see you succumb by any means necessary if it means they can regain power. We're not coming together. We're not. We have nothing to say to you, ethno-fascist, whatever that means, because I'm not fascist and I'm not ethno, so I don't care what you got to say. But she's using her television platform to tell y'all, we're not coming together. I'm with her. I'm with this person who's standing up in a hearing, a committee hearing, and saying we're not following the law. So why would you, and I'm talking to you, why would you embrace, why would you look to speak to or come together with anyone who is openly telling you, kiss off? Go ahead and follow, a hunky cowboy guy, Fox News host. I don't respect him. Go listen to the Hitlerian autocrat. Don't respect him. Go listen to Rocket Man. I don't care. They don't care about anything. That's why Trump has no choice but to burn it down. You even have Republicans who may not come out and say they embrace Joy Reid, but they're acting like it. Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, 8 or 9 more of them, Tim Scott, turned House Porch Negro. Oops, sorry, shouldn't say that. I'm going to have to delete that. All of these people are gearing up for their fight and letting Trump know you're not going to get your way. We don't care that you come in with a landslide and a mandate. We don't care. And so now what I'm telling you is every single one of you watching this video live and every single one of you watching this video on replay, you better be ready. There's a large swath of people who don't care. They're out there shaving their heads. They're going into a paramilitary state because you watch. It's going to get nuts. Absolutely. Wait until the first person gets either appointed by recess or confirmed. And I'm not talking about Rubio, and I'm not talking about Kristi Noem. Wait till one of these guys gets confirmed any way it happens. You are literally going to see all hell break loose. You think it was bad during the Kavanaugh hearings? Oh, you ain't seen nothing. Am I scaring you? I hope so. Because it's going to come to you. I mean, I saw this by Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell, who's from the Rasmussen Report, says, you have no idea how crazy this is going to be. Imagine the left seeing 5 million insurrectionists on the mall on January 20th, while the news cryons, the little words across the screen, chirp about a Milley court-martial, a Ray firing, and Rogan getting ABC correspondent pass. They're going to go ballistic. They are going to go absolutely ballistic. I want you to hear this. This is from the architect of the here's something, let me just tell you this. It stunned me when I heard this. It was Castro-like. And this man here is the architect of it, where they are now openly saying, Scout's honor, you're going to hear it, they are openly advocating for treason. You can't make this up. We're not going to pay attention to the laws. We're not looking to make nice with you. And now you're going to have another man in the halls of Congress, of the United States Congress, standing in Congress, telling you that he and his compadres are going to openly seek to commit treason in the American government. Listen to this dude.
If Trump attempts to weaponize the justice system against his political opponents with Matt Gaetz at the helm, we could see incoming Senator Adam Schiff as our shadow attorney general, arguing against replacing our independent prosecutors with Trump loyalists. If Trump seeks to eliminate the Department of Education, Congresswoman Johanna Hayes, a former Teacher of the Year, could step up as shadow education secretary to loudly defend public education in the United States. If Trump orders Marco Rubio to hand Ukraine and much of Eastern Europe to Russian President Vladimir Putin, Congressman Greg Meeks, as Shadow Secretary of State, could be a strong voice in support of maintaining international relationships and protecting democracy at home and abroad.
Forgot to hit the button again. He is what I said was, understand what this dude is saying. He is actively, and I do mean actively, in the halls of Congress, advocating for the Democrats to set up a shadow government. And I'm thinking to myself, did I just cross some sort of time warp? Did I kind of like step into Neverland? Did I just see a state commissioner, county commissioner say she's not going to follow the law, and now I'm watching somebody standing in the United States Congress, in the halls of Congress, and while he's standing there, he is telling the world, we are going to set up a shadow government. That is something that you don't say that shit out loud. Maybe Obama did it after 2020, and he did it from the confines of his house and in the basement, whatever. Hush, we don't want anyone to know. Oh no, we're way past that. We are way past that. They are now so emboldened, they are going to tell everybody that they are setting up a shadow government. No wonder they don't like Matt Gaetz, because you're basically telephoning, telegraphing, letting everybody know you're a criminal. This is going to be easy to take down. They're standing up with bright neon, banners like the guys who do the planes. Hey, we're going to commit crimes. Hey, we're going to set up a shadow government to, subvert you. We're basically going to commit treason, and we're not going to follow any laws. Seriously? You okay with that?
Senator Michael Bennet as Shadow Treasury Secretary, and Congresswoman Susan DelBene as Shadow Commerce Secretary could help ensure the middle class and small businesses have a voice in government and call out Trump's proposed tax cuts for billionaires and corporations. As Shadow Defense Secretary, Congressman Adam Smith, a great representative for the people of Washington and not a Fox News host, could counter Trump's threat to use military force against his political opponents and work to ensure that the Department of Defense stays loyal to the Constitution and not some wannabe dictator.
They even went as far as printed up a nice little placard. Shadow Cabinet. It's being advertised. You're telling the Department of Justice, who ain't going to do anything right now, but you're telling us you have all conspired to overthrow the government. I don't know how this guy can sit down, because the cojones between his legs must be so huge that there's no possible way he could, even sit on a chair. How much delusion must you have to think that the entire full weight of the Trump government is about to fall on your frickin' head? Probably because he's in Washington, D.C., he can think he can get away with it because you probably couldn't get convicted there. And the Democrats aren't going to censor you because, they're all in on it. But the American people have to do that. You have to do that. You have to let your friends, your family, your coworkers know and ask them. I know you don't like Trump. I get it. You don't like Trump. Yeah, whatever. Orange man bad. You down with treason? I just need to know. I know we haven't gotten along because I was voting for Trump, and but you're still down with America, right? Okay. Are you down with treason? Because that becomes the line right there. People are shaving their heads and doing crazy stuff, and some people jumping off buildings. Okay, you don't like Trump, but now you were worried about people doing some sort of insurrection at the Capitol. Some people with no weapons weren't doing anything, and it was just there was nobody who was voted in, so non-commissioned people, and now you've got people in Congress. Hey, can I use your name here? Can I let them know we've been talking? Yeah, man, I'm down with you. So I just need to know from you, my friend, my family member, my coworker. I need to know where you stand. Are you okay with looking to commit treason and take this country down? Because that's the line that they can no longer cross, and you cannot let them cross no matter who they are. We can all argue about candidates, but you cannot argue and now openly say you will do whatever you need to do, including breaking the law and possibly treason, to take down Trump. I ask each of you to begin asking people that. Are you okay with that? I really need to know if you've gone that far off the deep end. Can I count on you to be around my kids, my pets, in my home, without you maybe running around and taking sneaking pictures of my computer and what's in my car and looking under the mat and because if you're talking treason and that you're willing to go that far, that means you're willing to basically be a spy and go against the American Constitution. Is that who you are? That's where some Democrats are right now, and they're openly flaunting it. They don't care.
And Senator Tammy Duckworth could argue against cuts to the Department of Veterans Affairs that would delay the benefits and care our service members have so rightly earned. If Trump hands over the EPA to big oil ally Lee Zeldin, we could see Congresswoman Kathy Castor pushing back for environmental protection and conservation to protect the air we breathe and the water we drink.
So I just have to wonder, where are you pushing back? If Lee Zeldin is this guy and if RFK Jr. is that guy, how are you going to push back? What are you talking about? You're not in the actual cabinet. You're a shadow cabinet running a shadow government which has no power whatsoever. So why would anybody care what all these people you're saying would do? Unless you're planning something else, because otherwise everything you're saying is just hot air. Why would you go through this much work to let everybody in the world, because people who are watching this on C-SPAN or whatever it was, why are you letting people know you have a shadow government in place? You know, almost like if the real government was taken down, we're all set, guys, winkety wink. We have everything in place just to roll out when this government gets taken down. Is that what you're saying? Because otherwise you're having a cosplay. You're having Halloween in November. It makes absolutely no sense. You're going to waste your constituents' money. You're going to waste time. What the hell are you talking about? Tell me.
And if Trump pushes to ban abortion nationwide, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro could step in as Shadow Secretary of Health and Human Services to defend women's right to choose and argue against the gutting of Medicare by Trump and his cronies. Mr. Speaker, new times require new solutions. The shadow cabinet isn't just about opposing extreme MAGA attacks on our government. It's also about making clear what we stand for, not just what we're against.
Okay, you're taking a position, but it's a meaningless position, right? It's a ceremonial, hey, look at us, we don't like Trump. There's nothing you can do about it. Or is there? And you as an American, are you willing to risk that? I mean, we're just going to sit back and go, oh, that's cute. You had a shadow government all set up. Who's your shadow president? I listened to your whole presentation. Who is your shadow president? Would love to know who's the titular head of all this. Who's putting all this together? Who's calling the shots? Notice he didn't say that. But then now he goes on CNN. So now CNN can promote this lunacy.
And there's one more idea. A shadow government, similar to the UK. A group of lawmakers that mirrors the cabinet and publicly challenges them. Say Senator-elect Adam Schiff as Shadow Attorney General, Congressman Gregory Meeks, Secretary of State, or Colorado Senator Michael Bennet as Treasury Secretary. Well, that idea isn't just coming from a strategist, but a lawmaker. And joining me now, the man behind this idea, Congressman Wiley Nickel, a Democrat from North Carolina. No dream.
Yo in North Carolina, you okay with this? You down with this, North Carolina? I mean, my wife's family's from North Carolina. My daughter lives in North Carolina. You people in North Carolina need to wake the hell up. Are you all okay with treason? And being able to just go on a television show. Hey, how you doing tonight? Yeah, well, let's have a discussion about some treason here. You want some? Let's talk about treason. Love to hear you.
Music needed. You're in person with us. Congressman, why do you think this is the way to possibly challenge this administration?
First of all, this is something we can do. This is something that definitely can happen. And they've been doing it for over 100 years in the UK. Mm-hmm. So this is an idea that's time has come. And if we do the exact same thing against Trump, we're going to get the same results. We have to step up our game. We have to go toe-to-toe with Trump. And it's not just about saying, what we're against. It's about saying what we're for and putting our...
If we keep doing the same thing, we're going to keep getting the same results. So here's a guy. I've been talking to you guys lately over the last 6 or 7 days about the Democrats have no strategy. So the strategy they've come up with and other people have lent their names to, got it. Okay, so your strategy isn't about listening to what the people did when he just kicked your ass. Your strategy is doing everything other than what Kamala Harris said. You indeed want to go back. I mean, you just said it, right? You want to go back to what England was doing. I mean, do you remember how this country was formed? This country was formed because people said, hey, King, we're out. We're going to go live in the woods over here in this place called America, and we'll figure it out when we get there. But damn, we ain't staying here. And this dude just says, hey, England worked in England. Let's go ahead and do what England doing. What? So your strategy isn't to look at the results of the election. Your strategy isn't to, I don't know, do some introspection and say the American people want this and this and this. Your strategy is basically to run a shadow government. We already know what y'all stand for. We just watched the entire 2 campaigns, Joe's and Kamala's. We know fully well what you guys want to do. Do you think there's a person in this country who don't know what the Democrats want? So instead of looking at that and licking your wounds and saying, hey, listen, we got to move forward. We got to figure out that we do the will of the people and how to combat what Trump is doing in 2026 and 2028. We get it. You guys spoke loud and clear. You kicked our ass. Yes, this is what you want. No, they didn't do that. No, they didn't do that. They looked at the game film and said, you know what? Although this play got intercepted 6 times, I think it can still work. Oh, so let's keep doing it. Although this quarterback got sacked 5 times in this play, you know what? I think it'll still work. And you got the rest of the coaches that came along and said, you're right. Yeah, we just need to keep doing the same shit. Eventually, it's going to work. That's his strategy.
Best messengers out there to go toe-to-toe. You know, they put Elise Stefanik at the UN. We should have someone going one-on-one with her, talking about, you know, what we would do better and why the choices they make are wrong.
So what would this look like? It would be somebody who acts as if it was, State of the Union, a response they would give every time there is a major speech or press conference, or they'd have their own issue or white papers. What would this look like in practice?
First and foremost, it's about accountability. It's about keeping, you know, public pressure on every member of the cabinet. When they step out of line, you got someone, you know, who is there ready to call them out. That's something we...
Where? She asked you where. How are you going to do this? Still haven't heard the answer, right? She asked him, how are you going to do this?
Don't have, you know, you've got an issue with the EPA. You've got the spokesman taking a counterpoint right away on your show. That's the point of it. Something where leadership, you know, Hakeem Jeffries, you know, Schumer, they could appoint folks, and we've got a ready match to go toe to toe, and it's worked well in the UK.
There are some.
So, your idea is to counteract what Trump's doing by having your treasonous compadres go on CNN or MSNBC and go, well, I heard what Pete Hegseth said. Here's what we would do. There's a reason why MSNBC is on the auction block, not auction, but it's being sold, and why CNN is laying everybody off. I don't think you've thought this through, bud. I don't think you understand marketing and messaging. You're saying you're going to do the same playbook, and you're going to go play it in a stadium that nobody's going to be sitting in. Somehow that missed him. Hey, we're going to come on your show. You do know we're all getting fired, right? Oh, no, I didn't remember that. And you do know they're selling MSNBC, right? Yeah. And you do know that everybody else is listening to Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and Barry Cunningham and Benny Johnson and everybody else, right? You do know that when you look at the top list of people who are basically out there doing news podcasts, we ain't there. So, I'm Mr. Congressman, I'm trying to understand, how are you going to counteract this messaging? Nobody's listening to us. But she was too nice. She didn't tell him that.
Who would look at this and criticize it and suggest that you'd be delegitimizing this administration, not simply giving an alternative accountability vehicle? What do you say to those who'd question this as a ploy to try to undermine a decisive victory?
I think it's about making sure that they're accountable. That's the whole point of it. And, you know, like anything, you start it from scratch. You get to do it our own way, our own American way. You know, they've done it for a while again in the UK. But, you know, what I want to do is I want an answer. I want a message on our issues. I want to talk about the stuff that we want to do. So in the next election, we say, okay, you know, Trump is deporting, you know, families. This is the policy we would put in place. And that's what you get with the shadow cabinet.
Dude, you really haven't thought this through. Somebody asked me, who's this guy and what's his name? His name is Wiley Nichols, a Democrat from North Carolina. Wiley Nichols is his name. So if you're in North Carolina, maybe you might want to send Wiley an email or a message or something and say, hey, Wiley, that ain't going to work, bro. We can't have that. And if you're not in North Carolina, but you're, in a normal state at this point, a normal state that's not doing this kind of crazy stuff, get your asses ready. We are in a fight that is not going to slow down anytime soon. When you're seeing this kind of idiocy, when you're seeing people in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, openly say, we're defying the law and people break the law all the time, so I'm just going to join them. I've decided to be a lawbreaker. And then you've got people like this guy, Wiley Nichols, Nickels, Wiley Nichols. When you get guys like him who are openly advocating for what amounts to treason. If I was her, I would just said, Mr. Nichols, is there any... Give her the same question the chick from The View asked Kamala. I've heard what you want to do. You want to counteract the programming. Yes. Are you doing anything different than Kamala and Joe already said? Because I think she spent $1 billion letting people know what she wanted to do. Are you spending $1 billion on this? Because what's your message? Yeah, we want to tax the shit out of you. Oh, we don't want you to drill, baby, drill. Oh, so you don't want cheaper oil. You don't want any of that. You don't want peace in the world. No, we want to keep funding this war. I don't think it's going to work, man. That's not different. You kept saying, oh, we want to be like England. Well, I'm not sure if you understand history, but there used to be this thing called the British Empire. It was huge. It was huge. They had the best idea. They were going to go to your country and take it over and plant a flag and tell the people there, as as the comedian said, you don't have one of these, do you? England. And then little bit by little bit, people took their countries back. Even small little Jamaica, where my dad was from, it's like, take your flag and shove it. We are Jamaica. And that British Empire shrunk, just like the Roman Empire shrunk. And you're telling us that your strategy is, let's do what England's doing. Wow. I'm going to take your comments. I'll be right back. I got to tell you about Lear Capital. Go ahead and get some gold because you might need it. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. In fact, gold hit an all-time high recently. In fact, I think it hit it again today. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here, or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait until after the election. That could be too late. We all want Trump to be elected. But if he isn't, or if they find a way to steal it, you'd better be prepared. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. So let me go ahead and take a few of your comments here. Teresa Stevens says, glad they're out in the open. Easy to know who's involved. They will crack and tell on the unnamed once they get prison sentences. Yeah, to me, I've never seen people just do something so stupid. Wile E. Coyote backfires every time. It says here, somebody looked at his X page. Wiley Nickel is on X. He posted his treason on his page. Let him know what you think. Great, Twin Spark. So you don't have to worry about stuff happening here. Go on X. Let him know. Don't swear. Don't call him an F word. Don't. Hey, man, you're nuts. And I think like you're committing treason. And, you know, say what you want to say. Don't get yourself in trouble. Let him know that you're not going to stand for it. CC other people you know. Let people know. It is okay. Once people post something on X, it's up to them to defend what they have said. You can easily let your voices be heard and share it. Let other people know. Have you seen this crap? Can you even comprehend that this guy is standing up and I hate even using the T word, but I don't have any other word to compare it with. You're telling people we're going to go basically out there and create a shadow government. Maybe he used the wrong word. What he should have said, if I were him, I would have said, listen, we're going to have a messaging program and we're going to have an anti-Trump messaging. Cool. You're fine. Good. Go ahead and do that. You do that every day of the week. Rachel Maddow made a career out of it. But by the fact that you made a placard and showed it in the House of Congress and on television, and then went on CNN and said shadow government, shadow cabinet, you crossed the line there, bro. You really crossed the line. And Nancy or whoever, Chuck Schumer, y'all needed to spank him and go, hey, go back on there and say you didn't mean shadow government. You're talking about anti-Trump messaging, right? Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. And every time something says, Pete says something, you're going to have Joe say something. Sure. Go talk in that echo chamber that you guys will be on MSNBC for a while. Unreally. To me, I think he needs to be arrested. Trump is prepared for this, I'm sure. These people, they don't seem to understand anything about Trump. They just got stomped, and they're not accepting that this man, as you said, probably knows about that, probably knows what these people have planned, probably knows every step of the way what they're talking about. And how do I know this? Well, one, we have followed Trump the entire time, and we've seen him talk on the stumps and things he said. But at the same time, he's not stopping. You see, it's one thing, like this guy says, Sherilyn, so who's anti-American? The Democrats are. Absolutely. They're showing it. Trump hasn't stopped. He keeps moving. And what's more important and more impressive, the people that he is appointing keep moving. They're not sitting back and going, well, I'm not sure, maybe we shouldn't push. Maybe we should wait until such time as we get, in office. Nope. No, not pushing, not stopping at all. And one of the guys who's really not stopping, which is scaring the crap out of them all, is Tom Homan.
And part of that job will be large deportations, particularly of the hundreds of thousands of criminal aliens with orders to be deported already. But yesterday on Capitol Hill, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, led by Congresswoman Nanette Barragan, addressed that, saying that she's going to push back. Listen here, Tom.
The Congressional Hispanic Caucus is going to work very closely together along with our leadership to push back on this idea of mass deportations and the plans that he's putting together. Just yesterday, we had a meeting on.
It sounds great when you go out in these gaggles and you get everybody behind you and you say, we're going to push back. Nobody ever says, well, what the hell are you going to do? Tom Homan is going to be the border czar. Tom Homan is I don't have one to give, if you know what I mean. Fill it in. I don't care. What are you going to push back? It sounds so nice for you to stand up there and tell your Democrat people and the newcomers, we're going to be ready. We're going to push back. We're going to make sure that what? You can't stop what's coming. You may try to lay down in the street and sing Kumbaya and chain your hands together, but guess what? The bulldozer's still coming. You're not going to stop. You're going to push back for what? Behind a microphone? What? He doesn't need you. What are you talking about? I don't get it.
This very issue. And what we see is the mass deportations are going to have a negative impact on the U.S. economy.
What's your reaction to that, Tom?
Game on. Look, you're a member of Congress. ICE isn't making this up. They're enforcing the law. We're in a situation now, you got members of Congress. Those who enforce the law are the bad guys, and those who break the law are the victims.
It's pretty simple, isn't it? It's pretty simple. The bad guys break the law, I enforce it. What are you pushing back on? The law? Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the whole world's upside down. They're a member of Congress. ICE don't make this up. They're enforcing law that Congress wrote and Congress enacted that was signed by a president. And they're going to push back. And President Trump's made it clear, and this makes me angry. President Trump has made it clear, we're going to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. What member of Congress, what governor, or what mayor is against taking public safety threats out of their community? Haven't we seen enough crime and enough rape and enough death? Well, ICE is going to do their job, so shame on her. She ought to resign her seat of the House because ICE is enforcing the laws that Congress enacted, and they're going to do it without apology.
I personally would not want to be on the other end of that guy knocking on my door or having people who work for him knocking on the door. Trump has put what would you call it? A no-nonsense team together who don't care what you think. So you want to go ahead, Joy Reid, you want to crawl into a corner and say basically you will not comply? Sure, do it in your office. Don't step in the middle of what's going to be happening. It means nothing. Your tears and you're talking in front of a camera and saying, I am not going to reach across the aisle. I'm not good with this. Nobody asked you. You don't have to be good with it. I don't think they understand. You can sit in your studio in New York City or Washington, D.C., and you can pontificate and call him and everybody else, what was the word? Ethno-fascist. But you can't do anything. You're completely feckless. Look it up, Joy. You like the big words, that's a small one for you. Feckless. There's nothing you can do. And you can parade every expert and every anti-ethno-fascist on your show who say they're going to push back and do this. And the rest of us are like, well, number one, who's listening to you? Number two, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Knock the chip off my shoulder. Come on, Joy, right there. Knock it off. You can't do anything. You have no tools, no resources, no chutzpah. There's nothing you can do. And someone needs to begin telling these people, cry all you want. I wouldn't want to get in front of Tom Homan and his men. Because if you do and interrupt with him and interfere, guess what? You get a free ride to the pokey. Go. And then guess who you get to meet? Once you do all that, because he's a federal official, Guess who you get to meet? Matt Gaetz. Oh, Joy Reid, I don't think you want to get in front of Matt Gaetz. So what are these people so worried about? In addition to the newcomers, for some reason, maybe those votes that, the people in Bucks County are still counting, and they realize the more of those people who get, taken out can't be in Bucks County, because that'd be the first place I'd go, because you just told me, oh, we're still counting all these votes here. From who? The ones we're not supposed to count. Oh, hey, grab the truck. Let's go with a squad up to Bucks County and bring a couple paddy wagons, because obviously you just told me there's a whole bunch of them up there. And not only did they break the law by crossing a border, but they voted. So I don't think this woman understood, and I hope you do understand, that what she just did, she just squealed on a whole bunch of newcomers. And I hope they didn't use their real name. Oh, so Fred Smith, because I'm not going to use, what I would say. Fred Smith from 123 Main Street voted for, but he's in the league. He's a newcomer, right? Right. Okay, thank you. How many more of these you got? They just went to the top of the list. They get the express ride. They broke the law when they came across the border, and now what you're saying is they voted in an election. They got the double scoop. Whew, they get to go first. You see, you can't say it again. No one can stop what's coming. You can't stop it. You can cry, you can scream, you can make the stupidest statements. You can call us ethno-fascist. I don't care. You can't stop what's coming. And more, we're starting to see what these people really, really are worried about. This came out, today's the 16th. Yeah, this came out at 12:30. I've told you many times that the Pentagon is this money pit. And this is who Pete Hegseth is going to be in charge of. So why are they freaking out about Pete Hegseth? Well, I want you to look at this. This came out today. The Pentagon has just failed its 7th audit and says it cannot account for $824 billion. A government agency run by Biden and Harris and Defense Secretary Austin. You can't find $824 billion? Sorry. What? And you're calling Pete Hegseth incompetent, unqualified, and you again have lost money. Remember the $2 trillion from before I told you about? Now you're telling me you've been entrusted with American people's money. $824 billion. Sorry, can't find it. That's why you don't want Pete Hegseth there. That's why you don't want Matt Gaetz there. Merrick Garland should be right there with a huge jumbo jet-sized paddy wagon. Go, well, you all need to get in here, and I need to send a team of investigators and some forensic accountants in here, and I need to start digging to find out where $824 billion went. I don't know if you can really grasp that amount of money. $824 billion. The problem with that number that I have that you can't find, that you don't know where it went, you know where it came from. See, there's no doubt that we know where the money came from. You forked it over. I forked it over. We bent over and forked it over as much as we possibly could because they kept taking it. And now they're telling you on the other side, I don't know, $824 billion. Okay, look at that number again. $824 billion. So they took your money, they took my money, and they think that's sufficient. And why, this came out 12:30, why Merrick Garland didn't have the FBI, the DOJ, and everybody crawling all over the Pentagon right now? right now. You stole 800. We have to say stole because nobody loses 824 billion. It's not an accounting error. It's not like you didn't know. The other part with this, it says it's failed its 7th audit. 7th. It keeps happening. Let that sink in. It keeps happening. And nobody goes to jail. You go ahead and miswrite a check and float it for $1,000 and you're going to have the state's attorney coming looking for you. They can't find $824 billion for the 7th time they failed an audit. No wonder they don't want Pete Hegseth there. No wonder they don't want people who are really going to look. I saw this and I'm like, if I didn't see it all over, that was just one post I showed you. If I didn't see this all over, I'd have been like, there's no way. There's no way that they let that information out today on November 16th, whenever you're watching this, this happened today. There's no way they just put that out there and said, yeah, we can't account for 824 billion, because what you're telling me is everybody from the president down to the person that runs the counter at one of the dispensaries are all incompetent or are all in on it. It can't be any other way. You don't lose $824 billion. It's insane. I can't do an analogy because I don't even know what percentage of that budget, what percentage of budget that represents. But that would be like, you sitting down with your wife and saying, honey, half the money in our account's gone. You know what happened to it? No. Hey, Mr. Banker, yeah, did you see any withdrawals or deposits from our account? Because yesterday it had 1,000 in it, now it's only got 500. Yeah, I can see. I can see somebody wrote a check. How do we not have that same ability with 824 billion? Are you telling me it's a secret who gets to write checks out of the Pentagon? How do you not know? Lloyd Austin, resign today, not tomorrow. Joint Chiefs of Staff, resign today. All of you, just leave. Let Trump handle it when he gets in. You just lost $800 billion of taxpayer dollars and you act like it's no big deal. And yet you're telling us that Pete Hegseth, as Joy Reid said, the hunky Fox News host, making fun of him. So what would Lloyd Austin be? Don Knotts? Because he can't shoot straight. Woosa. Let me ask some of y'all if you knew this. They need classes on checks and balances. The military knows they have it all. Yeah, and that's also why they don't want Tulsi. Because what you just said is absolutely correct. National intelligence. They decided they can look at a phone call halfway across the world and tell you where it came from, except if it's on January 6th. They can't find 325,000 kids. And now you're telling me these same people who are charged with keeping us safe, to make sure that bad guys aren't doing stuff to us, you're telling us all these people somehow look the other way on $824 billion flying out the window. Yeah. Now we know. Now you know. Don't let anyone anywhere tell you that it's about competence and experience and qualifications. It's about, damn, these people gonna get in the way of my flow. That's exactly why they're having a problem. Once these people start digging, people who really want to find the answers, because $824 billion didn't disappear yesterday. You have to understand, $824 billion disappeared over the last couple of years, wherever. See, what happened is somebody somewhere thought they could get away with this. Let's just not disclose it. Let's not worry about it. When Kamala gets in, we can just raise taxes. We raise taxes, we cover up this big gaping sinkhole. But now they're like, uh-oh. She didn't get elected? She didn't win? No. Oh, shit. What do we do about this big sinkhole? We're going to have to disclose it. Wasn't that going to look bad? No, nobody will talk about it. You know, Trump may post about it. Some people like Barry might talk about it, but nobody else is going to talk about it. So don't worry about it. It's gone. And then we'll just get out of here and head to Switzerland or something in January. Yeah, man, 800 billion, 325,000 kids, millions of babies. Nothing has value to these people. Nope. And DOD estimated the termination fees of the wall, 804 billion. That, as they say, followed the money. Yeah. And again, this is all stuff that's out there. Yeah, it's a day of reckoning. Look out. Left-handed hammers are expensive. Oh, Barry, look! We all know these people make 120 grand a year, and where's the rest of that? And are worth millions. 845 billion. Check their deposit. Joe's son taught this crabby thieves how to do it. Somebody did. Somehow they figured a way how to. And just like with any other Ponzi scheme, it's easy. Just keep running the same scam and have the new investor pay off the old investor, and you just keep doing what you're doing until you're caught with the music stops. See, everyone kept saying, why would she be running on a campaign to raise taxes? Oh, we got to raise more taxes. More? Yeah, we need more. What? So you're running on a campaign to tax unrealized capital gains, which nobody, well, maybe a few, but hardly anybody I heard on the left say they had any problem with that. You're okay with taxing unrealized capital gains? Yeah, we're down with that. Oh, because you can't tax what has already been spent or hidden. $824 billion. And so now, January 20th, all those books will come open. And that's why they don't want Pete Hegseth in there. They can't have him doing that. Speaking of Pete Hegseth, so Mike Lee posted this. It was funny. Mike Lee says, I recently spoke with, let me open up the whole thing here. I recently spoke with the father of a U.S. Air Force Academy cadet. He told me that the Air Force Academy's official forms refer to him, the cadet's father, as the cadet's non-birthing parent, and to his wife, the cadet's mother, I think he made a mistake there, the cadet's birthing parent. And Pete says, not for long. You see, that's the kind of stuff that's freaking these people out. Everything that they have held dear and what they wanted to push on people, and your non-birthing parent and your birthing parent and non-birthing parent and your pronouns, and stop. And you could cover it up. You know, I almost felt like they were doing this stuff to keep people looking over here, so you didn't look at over here as they're just taking the money and running with it. $824 billion. And the thing with it is Pete Hegseth, obviously, Pentagon, huge agency. And now you're going to have Vivek and Elon digging into this stuff. And people haven't talked about this. Do you know there are algorithms that you can use to check where funds have gone? You see, you just have to, everything they're doing is on a computer. And so what they're hoping is that when the forensic accountant gets in there, and he's like, I got to go one item at a time, and here, and here, and here. And he's like, oh, Elon goes, wait 1 second. Let me go ahead and write this algorithm to show me every, disbursement over $1,000. Okay. Show me every disbursement where the same person got one twice. Show me where the same person who got more than $1 million. They're gonna find this money real quick. You see, the people who ran this scam aren't that sophisticated. Why? How do I know that? Because nobody would know today that $824 billion was missing. and that you failed 7 audits recently. So if they failed 7 audits, what does that tell you, Mr. and Mr. America? They've been doing it for a while. They've been stealing your money left and right. They don't give a shit about you. Just keep taxing these idiots. Let's take as much of their money as possible and then throw them in jail when they don't give us any more. But we'll just keep stealing it. Because that's what we do. We're Democrats. And some Republicans. Wouldn't want to be these people in a couple months. Furthermore, this happened as well today. Breaking news. Sources say there are deep concerns about the possibility of Kash Patel being named the FBI director. They're citing fears that he could use the position to target Trump's political enemies, declassify sensitive information, and purge career civil servants, per CNN. I think we all want that, right? I think Trump told you that was coming. Everything. He could use the position to target Trump's political enemies. No, he can use the position to go after people who you obviously know have broken the law. One of the easiest ones is a chick in Bucks County. Yeah, people break the law all the time, so I'm going to break it now too. Okay, you thanks. You surfaced and you raised your hand. Yeah, please do that to me. Declassify sensitive information. Yep, sensitive to who? You know, they never put that in. Oh, he's going to declassify sensitive information. Who's it sensitive to? Maybe that's your problem. You haven't addressed who it's sensitive to. Not sensitive to me. I mean, unless it involves someone getting ready to hit a nuke at us or something, maybe that's sensitive. Maybe, you know, the knock list, like in Mission Impossible, it's where spies are. Yeah, that's sensitive. Telling us somebody who did shit 50 years ago, that's not sensitive. November 1963 was 60 years ago. We should know who did that. June of 1968, we should know who did that. More than likely, everybody involved is also gone. I doubt there are many CIA agents from 1963 walking the planet. Probably not a whole lot from 1968. So who are we trying to protect other than the institution itself? That's not sensitive. We all know you're crooks. You just lost $824 billion more. We know that. So, you know, declassify sensitive information and purge career civil servants. I'm okay with that. I think you're okay with that. But see, here's what they're really concerned about. They can say whatever they want, but this kind of guy scares the living crap out of them.
Just look at Nancy Pelosi's insider trading deals. It is insider trading, and she keeps making up hundreds of millions of dollars. So do dozens of other congressmen and women. So they know what's going to happen. They're writing the legislation. They're doing the funding. It's the same thing for the media circuit. These people, not all of them, but for the most part, live and breathe to get on these TV shows. I could care less if I'd ever do media again. In fact, I'd probably be a much happier guy. These guys are begging to get on your show for 3 minutes here and 4 minutes there. They're begging for relevance, and they're looking for any way they can get it.
Do you think I shouldn't have any government officials on?
I think they should just have people who care about questioning them neutrally. Again, not a Republican or Democrat thing. Like if someone goes out there and specifically lies about Russiagate, about impeachment, about insurrection, about the 51 Intel letter, call them out on it. But they keep having him on over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, be afraid. Be very afraid. Just imagine these people that Trump he's bringing these. I don't know if Kash Patel is the guy. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of talk that you need to make this dude the director of the FBI. As he just said, blow it up, tear it down. You don't need to be in Washington, D.C. We're going to put you in Omaha. We're going to put you in Steubenville, Ohio. Go. Bismarck. Yeah. There's your office. Go do something. Tulsa. Oh, you're sitting in Washington as he said, looking for your next payday, doing absolutely nothing, and cashing checks. Let's see if you can actually do cop work. You're in the FBI, go do cop work. And I'm going to open it up the next day as an FBI museum. OMG. You think they're a little afraid, left and right? You think some secrets that people don't want to see come out are going to come out? Oh, you might declassify some sensitive documents. Sensitive to who? Not me, not you. Keep our national defense. We don't need to know where the aircraft carriers are going, where the subs are right now. We don't need to know none of that. Nobody needs that. That's some serious classified stuff. But at this point, can we know who killed Jimmy Hoffa? Can we know that? Why is all that secret? Did D.B. Cooper, when he jumped out the airplane with a couple $100,000, where'd he go? There's so many mysteries. You could turn on television shows. Hey, there's a mystery of D.B. Cooper, and he jumped out an airplane. Where's Amelia Earhart? Do you know where she is? What happened to her? Why did the Edmund Fitzgerald break in half and sink? Oh, it's sensitive. You can't handle it, okay? It's not so. The only thing to me that was sensitive, and then I said, I don't care, was all these things flying around in the sky. You know, then I saw Men in Black and said, I ain't got to worry about that either. We got the other guys in black. UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to change the language, I don't care. I want to know how Nancy Pelosi is getting rich off these stock trades. I want to know how AOC became a millionaire when she was making Jack and Cokes a couple years ago. I want to know, where's $825 billion? Because what you're telling the American people when you say, I lost $800 billion, what you're telling the American people is, we don't really need your money. You see, Trump should probably do a speech and say, listen, we've uncovered, Elon and Vivek have uncovered so much waste. So much. The $825 billion is small potatoes. We have uncovered trillions of waste. I don't need to see the experiment of the shrimp mating with a frog. Don't need to have that. So because we don't need all this craziness, we're just going to make it no tax. Then you ain't going to have to worry about stealing from the American public. I'm good with that. That ain't sensitive. Hey, listen, we found all this grift. We found all these people committing all kinds of crimes. We're going to take care of them, but we need to pay you back. See, that's another thing people never talk about. You lost $824 billion. The Pentagon didn't lose Defense Department money. It's yours. And then to cover it up over the last 7 or 8 audits, you taxed us even more. Maybe the refunds need to be a lot friggin' bigger. Hey, I'm sorry, but we're gonna refund people so much money. There's so much winning gonna happen. So much. Oops, wrong one. Wrong button there. But so much winning. Because we're gonna give you a refund check of about, $30,000, $50,000. Money we've stolen over the years.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Yeah, I think people would go nuts if they found out that. You remember that little pittance they gave you during the, the jabademic? They're like, here's $1,200. Whoo! I got my stimmy. No, it was your money. You understand that, right? They didn't give you anything. It was your money. And then what did they do after they gave you the stimmy? Anyone want to raise their hand with that? After they gave you the $1,200? Oh yeah, they created inflation and stole billions from you. But you got $1,200 checks, so everyone was happy. Hey, I got $1,200. People in North Carolina got $750 after their houses got washed away. And the Pentagon lost $800 billion. These people should be run out on a rail. That's why Matt Gaetz and Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth and everybody else needs to make these people publicly embarrassed, perp walked, and then have the keys thrown away. Oh, but that's my political opponent. No, you're the opponent of every friggin' American. You are the opponent of every tax-paying, God-fearing American because you've stolen from them. You committed an actual crime against America. Every single person in North Carolina who FEMA screwed because they had a Trump sign in their yard, you thought $750 that they had to apply for and prove that they needed it. Oh, do I need it? There's no house behind me, you friggin' idiot. Yes, I need it. $750, huh? For my life. That's what you're telling Americans they're worth. You had to have, like, Samaritan's Purse and you people and me to give money when our government is losing $800 billion. Think about that. If you had given every person affected up there with the hurricane who had lost their homes and family members and just said, you know what, here's $1 million, get on with your life. What can we do to really make it right for you? There's no replacing a loved one. But we want to make sure that you can get your land back in order and you can get back on your feet so you don't have to rush back to work. We don't have to take your kids. Here's $1 million. We got this extra because, it came from the Defense Department where we obviously didn't need it. But no, they gave you a check or dangled a check for $750 in front of your face and said, dance. Go ahead, dance. Tell us you want this $750. If I lived in Appalachia, and I read this today that you stole $800 billion from me and you offered me $750, I don't know what I'd do. Robin would have to probably call the authorities, say, listen, you need to calm him down. He's about to go nuts. He told me he's going to go to Washington and just go nuts. Which I'm sure a lot of people up there are thinking, like, you're insulting me. My house is gone. I can't find Uncle Jimmy. And you want to hand me $750. I'm going to crawl through glass and vote this guy in. And then now another congressman in North Carolina is telling me you're going to set up a shadow government? Enough. So now, on top of all that, this is why these rats are running. Check this out. Breaking, Trump allies have been sending thousands of Freedom of Information requests, FOIAs, regarding communications involving Elon Musk, DEI, and other topics to figure out who can be fired in January. A mass purging of personnel may soon be underway. It's a massive fishing expedition that has already sent a chill through federal agencies bracing for Trump's second term. The Heritage Foundation is involved, along with the American Accountability Foundation. 60 targets have also been named in the DHS who may stand in the way of Trump's mass deportation plans. So they're freaking out because these guys, they're not waiting. You got allies. So a Freedom of Information request doesn't have to come from Trump. You can file a FOIA. I can file a FOIA. And so somebody somewhere is now directing people outside of the Trump camp, file it. File that information. Let's find out who has had all this communication in terms of DEI, excuse me, and Elon Musk. What have you guys been talking about? You're in the government. We need to see it. That should indeed freak a lot of people out. And then Matt Gaetz said something that was really interesting here. Lies were weaponized to destroy me. These lies resulted in prosecution, conviction, and prison for the liars, not me. I focused on the truth and doing my job. So what he's talking about, let me just go ahead and click through so you guys know they took it down. Oh, here it is. All right. There's growing chatter. Read the strange story of two guys who tried to extort Matt Gates' dad for $25 million in return for them using DOJ contacts to kill the blank blank probe. It's true, and it has a Russian oligarch, Israel and Dilbert tie. And this entire thread is, here's some of the chatter of that night, and I showed you the video the other day of Candace Owen talking about it. And the third here, I had to repost this thread because I mistakenly called Oleg Deripaska a Ukrainian oligarch. He's Russian. Twitter doesn't allow you to edit tweets once they're threaded, which is true. Here's the tweet he had posted, and yeah, he had called the guy a Ukrainian, but he's actually Russian. So anyway, in any event, the guy who tried to extort Matt Gaetz is in jail. They tried to extort him on this phony charge that the Congress is now trying to use that report when he was already cleared by the DOJ and the FBI, and the guy that was actually extorting him is in jail, so the report is moot. You're trying to just gummy up the works here and try to expose something where there's nothing to expose. And then so now you've got these idiots. A majority of Senate Republicans voted against the People's Choice Rick Scott. Now a majority are against Matt Gaetz. This is exactly why he needs to be recess appointed as Attorney General. The swamp will fight like hell to stop being held accountable, and many GOP senators are co-conspirators. Like I said at the beginning, fight is upon us. We thought the big fight was getting him elected. And I told you back then, nope, I called it would be a landslide. The fight is going to be now. Now through January. Now getting his people in place. You know it's bad. You know it's swampy beyond swampy, green sludge at this point, because now the Republicans are saying we can't have this. We can't have him declassify all this information. Oh no. The guy won in a landslide, and even though he's got a mandate, we have to stop him. We have to work with the Democrats and stop him. Because if he gets in, well, he's going to get in. If he has his way, what are we going to do? How can we possibly go against him and make it work without getting ourselves thrown in jail? You see, we don't have a choice. When I say we, I'm talking about you and me. We don't have a choice. We're in this. We've pushed all in. Every single one of us that voted for Trump, we've all pushed all in. There's no turning back. You have to commit yourself to be ready mentally and with your faith. And physically as well. There's no turning back. They are now, as you've seen today, getting ready. They're doing everything. They're breaking the law. They don't care. Hey, everybody breaks the law, so we're going to do it too. Oh, okay. We don't want to sit there and reach across the aisle. You're an ethno-fascist. The media's freaked out. The Democrat politicians who were elected to represent the people are breaking the law with no regard. Your safety will mean nothing to them. I want you to grasp that. If it comes down between them and us, they are going to do whatever they can to protect themselves. It is absolutely nuts. I wouldn't have felt this way if I didn't see this woman actually come out and say, everybody breaks the law, so I'm going to break it too. I'm going to let Steve Bannon really throw like an exclamation point on what it is we need to do to get ready, because they're desperate. Cornered animals are dangerous, and you need to know what you're dealing with, because now we're entering an aura of treason.
The system, Chris Hayes, not only doesn't work, it destroys. It destroys. And your campaign was to destroy Donald Trump. Because you thought if we can destroy Trump, one, we destroy him, but number two, we will send the greatest message in the world that if you stand up to the system, even if you've been president of the United States and commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the chief magistrate of the American system and someone worth $7 billion and a global media figure, even if you've been all that, which in modernity is all-powerful, we can determine and the system will destroy you. And so if we can destroy you, who's going to stand up to that? Who's going to stand up to that? Your mistake is you misjudge his moral courage, because you don't think he has any, and his physical courage. His moral courage to understand, like Cincinnatus, he will come back to save this republic as a leader. Knowing consciously, conscious intention, not sleepwalking, conscious intention of my line of work. Trump, they're going to bankrupt me, they're going to try to destroy my family, and guess what? They're going to come at me and they're going to try to put me in prison, imprison me for the rest of my life because I'm 78 years old.
He forgot. Try to kill him. Love what he's saying here, but he left out that part.
And physical courage, when they tried to assassinate him, Robert Kagan, that you asked for and
I was early.
Begged for in the Washington Post and all over the media, Rachel Maddow. He stood up in the moment, in the defining moment of his presidency, in the defining moment of the age of Trump. He stood up with blood on him and he says, let's go, fight, fight, fight. That will echo down in the history of this country, age upon age, of what courage is. You want to know why young men voted for him? That's what they voted for, a leader, a gladiator, someone that a man can respect.
And hopefully women as well. But that's exactly true. I've said it to you guys many a times. And ladies, when he did that, many men, as 50 Cent would say, men and men, looked at that and went, damn, that's a leader. You stood up. And now it's time for all of you to stand up. And I keep saying it, be prepared, get ready, because you heard today, you saw today, what they're capable of doing. I mean, we knew what they were capable of doing. We saw the shot. We saw everything they said. They threw everything at him. Now they're going to throw everything at everybody else. It's about to get real deep. And so the only way this stuff wins, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was sitting here talking to you guys, and I got a text from Robin. And Robin said, what's the guy's name? Put the guy's name out there. And I'm like, why am I putting his name out there? Why do people want to see his name? And then somebody in the chat said, we found him on X. Let's go. That's exactly what you got to be doing. You got to, before it was, tell Harry to get his fat ass off the couch and vote. That's what Trump said a number of times during his rallies. Now, tell Harry to get his fat ass off the couch and fight. It's no longer just him. That was him. Now it's you. When you see something, no longer see something, say something, see something, blow it up. Blow it up. Let everybody know they're not going to get away with this. Oh, I posted something earlier today that I could never post here. It was in our community, and it was about some people who decide that, the 325,000 kids who disappeared, there's nothing wrong with that lifestyle. Blow it up. When people on the left post something and it's completely absurd and against the better judgment of people in America, blow it up. And I'm not talking about hand grenades. I'm talking about cell phone grenades. I'm talking about keyboard grenades. Let them know. Chase them away. It's working. Bette Midler, gone. Joy Reid, deleted her account. Don Lemon, I'm out. Good. Scat, get away. Give them no cover, no harbor. I think at this point, that's the least we can do for a man who took a bullet in his head, is to let these people know we're mad as hell and we ain't taking it no more. You're not doing this. You're not going to get away. We're not sitting on the couch and just watching anymore. We're not spectators. You can't be a spectator right now. You started, you got involved, you voted, but it doesn't end there. Don't ever let it end there. Now use your voice. Now more than ever. I want to show you something real quick here. Let's see if I can find this, because this was seriously something that you guys need to take a look at before I get out of here. Okay. This guy. Why did that look like that? Okay. This guy, Brendan Carr. Brendan Carr is a commissioner of the Federal Communications Commission, senior Republican on the 5-member commission, previously general counsel of the FCC. This was posted yesterday at 8:45 a.m. And what he's saying is Facebook, these people, Apple, Microsoft, and others have played central roles in the censorship cartel. The Orwellian-named NewsGuard, along with, quote, fact-checking groups and ad agencies, helped enforce one-sided narratives. The censorship cartel must be eliminated. And he's got a letter here that was signed 3 days ago, November 13th, 2024. And it went to the CEO and president of Alphabet, who owns Google/YouTube. It went to the CEO of Microsoft, Tim Cook of Apple, and then Mark Zuckerberg. And through this letter, which you guys can look up because it's too small probably for you to see on the screen, he goes through step by step and lets them know, we know your game plan. And it gets to a point where in this letter, you get to things like this. He starts asking for, okay, wait a minute, where is it? To help inform the FCC what you're doing, please provide me with the following. And he goes through a list of stuff. We want this, we want this, and we want this. And we want this, and we want this, and we want this. They are now going to be digging into the FCC and to these people to determine what have you been doing to censor Americans. How have you been doing? Who have you been paying? Who have you been utilizing? Who are your fact checkers? These are giant companies. Apple, $1 trillion company. Alphabet with Google and YouTube, gazillion-dollar companies. These are companies, Mark Zuckerberg. And now they know on January 20th, the rent comes due. The rent is coming due for these tech guys. How are they going to react when they start seeing what exactly is going to transpire? Now, since you know that, have at it. May not be able to do it here, may not be able to do it on Facebook, but you can do it on X. There's nobody stopping you. If you see something makes no sense, and then you don't have to be alone. See, that's another thing. You see something that's bad that you think, hey, people need to see this. Start CCing other people. CC me, CC Benny, CC Trump team, CC Bannon in the war room. By the way, Bannon got reinstated on X today. Boom. You saw what happened with Alex Jones. Imagine if you guys don't know, I'll do a show on that. Imagine the whole thing that went down with Alex Jones. And with Alex Jones, they were getting ready to auction off his entire empire over there. And it was all fake. They didn't have a real auction. They were trying to basically run a scam. And the court finally went, who the hell are these people? I didn't tell them that they could do this. How did that happen? We're winning. We are winning. I'm just checking to see some. So there were a couple of new appointments today. somebody just said, "Oh, this is their worst nightmare. Absolutely worst nightmare." Steve Bannon is back on X, so good for them. But Trump went ahead and he has a couple new announcements that we want to bring up. Let's see who we have. We have. Let me click here. This is very interesting, and it's indicative of what I was just saying to you. Fight all the way down. The president-elect of the United States, soon to be president, is fighting and endorsing a local city council seat here in Miami. It says, Nicole Reynoso has my complete and total endorsement for Doral City Council, Seat 3, working with Doral's wonderful Mayor, Christy Farraga. Nicole will help grow the economy, create great jobs, and so on. So if the president-elect of the United States can focus in on a tiny race in Doral, Florida, a small town, very small town, outside of Miami. It's not even Miami, it's outside of Miami. If he is taking that kind of approach on things to let people know that that's what we should be doing, shouldn't you? I mean, think about it. The president-elect took the time out of his day to go and look at something and say, you know what, we need to work on this. We need to make sure that we're working on it, and so that people, even in smaller locations, can begin to win their races. Okay. Do it. I'm sure there's city council races where you are. Do it. Then he had another appointment. This was roughly an hour ago, as you can see. I'm pleased to announce that William Owen Scharf will serve as assistant to the president and White House staff secretary. Will is a highly skilled attorney who will be a crucial part of my White House team. He has played a key role in defeating the election interference in lawfare. So what you're seeing is Trump is bringing together a smaller dream team. He's putting together a dream team of legal people to fight whatever fight is going to be coming. And a lot of these people have worked on his stuff before. What's very interesting when you look at this guy's background, it says here he worked on a decision in the Supreme Court. He's been a federal prosecutor. He's clerk for 2 federal appeals court judges. He's a Harvard Law School, magna cum laude at Princeton. He's bringing in the pedigree. He's bringing in the good guys. Let's see who else there was another one I thought I saw. Yeah, here's one. This one was about, 27 minutes ago. So maybe he's getting ready to fire out a couple of new appointments. This one's 27 minutes ago. I'm thrilled to announce that Chris Wright will be joining my administration as both United States Secretary of Energy and member of the newly formed Council of National Energy, which Doug Burgum is going to be running. Chris has been a leading technologist and entrepreneur in energy. He has worked in nuclear, solar, geothermal, oil, and gas. Most significantly, Chris was one of the pioneers who helped launch the American shale revolution that fueled American energy independence and transformed the global energy market and geopolitics. The Council of National Energy, which he formed, will consist of all departments and agencies involved in permitting, production, generation, distribution, regulation, transportation of, quote, all forms of American energy. That's the big thing that Doug Burgum is going to be running, and now he's basically got his second in line, and that's up to date at this point. So that's everybody, his latest appointments. I'm refreshing to see if something just popped up before we get off. Nothing yet. All right, so all that said and done, let's take a few comments from you guys who have been here and have been patiently waiting. Let's see here. Put those 3 people in jail. They broke the law. Yeah. This is our last chance to get the country back. Absolutely. That Rhino Scott. I can't believe Scott. I can't believe it. Carolyn Levitt. Yes, she was announced yesterday as the press secretary. Now, it was never posted on True Social, but she posted it on her Twitter profile that she was named the press secretary. So maybe she didn't post it on Trump's profile, but she is the new press secretary. I'd like to know who his Secretary of Transportation will be to replace Pete Buttigieg. Yeah, exactly. Barry, why after Tim Scott showed his true colors did President Trump appoint him to something? I didn't see Tim Scott appointed to anything. What you're talking about is the appointment that he had as the something with the NRCC. No, the senators appointed him to that. Trump didn't appoint him to that. No, Trump that's like the Senate Majority Leader. Trump didn't do it. The Senate did that. Let's see here. We are not the effing UK. Good point there. Barry explained to people how to get the free phone number from Google so they can get back on X. Do you want me to, or you're asking? You said I did. I'll find it. Barry does great work, better than news. I just try to give you stuff I know they're not going to talk about. And let you guys see what's actually happening, because it's actually crazy. Is Kamala's brother-in-law, Tony West, possibly involved somehow? Remember, he's being accused of embezzling billions from American taxpayers. Don't know, but you can bet Matt Gaetz is going to look at a lot of different stuff, which is why they're terrified. Absolutely terrified. All in a small town as well, Barry. Got to win them all the way down to dog catcher. Don't leave these people any room. Like I said before, it's one thing if you're outside and you're weeding and you cut off the top, but then of course it comes back. You got to get down in there. You got to get down in there and uproot that stuff. I remember back in the day, Gillette used to have a commercial, and when they first came out with the two blades, and they used to say the first blade is just to get it at the surface, whereas the second blade, when it pops back up, cuts it off. That's what we need. We need some Gillette blades going on in Congress at this point. I would keep out for a false flag operation with $800 billion missing. Too late. You see, it really is too late. Obviously, they got to keep Trump protected, but a false flag after the election isn't going to do much at this point. I mean, it could slow things down. It could delay the inauguration. It could cause martial law. But understand, a lot of us had a problem. Remember, let's wind back. Many of us were concerned that something like a false flag would occur, and then martial law would be declared and they would stop the election. And so now if they did it, it would basically slow down the inauguration. However, the person who would be in charge of doing that doesn't seem like he's going to be doing it anymore. It seems like he himself has given the middle finger to the deep state. And I'm talking about Dementia Joe. Think about that. All this stuff that they may have been planning and what they were going to do. You notice Merrick Garland, quiet. Yeah, they got Mark Elias out there doing stuff on their behalf and, based on individuals. But you don't see Merrick Garland doing anything. It's like Merrick Garland already said, folding up the tent and I'm getting ready to get out of here. Because he can't get approval from the White House. Whatever contentious things they wanted to do with the election, they just can't go out there and file and say, listen, we're going to sue here, go sue there, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Not without Merrick Garland saying do it. And then secondly, Merrick Garland answers to Dementia Joe. So if he's not playing ball with them anymore, and he looked really happy when he was sitting down with Trump, they're not going to be able to do much. And I had heard last week, I'm sure some of you heard, that there were $1 gazillion. Anthony Blinken said there was a gazillion going back over to Ukraine. So we're going to get as much money out the door as we can. Haven't heard anything more about that. Because Blinken can say that, but someone else has to sign off on that money going out. So until it actually happens, that's just Anthony Blinken might have gotten called out on an island there. Yeah, we're going to send over Zelensky $1 gazillion, but I haven't seen a single report saying a dime has left. So I don't know what's going on, but I got to find this. This was who put this one out? I can't verify this, so I don't like really putting out a lot of stuff that I can't. But I saw a bunch of people that were putting out a story. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, here's a story. It's from an account that I follow, and I try to verify his stuff. But let me just show you this. This guy posts like every hour on the hour. This is very interesting. Hold on, let me find it. When I get there, it's worth looking at. So talk amongst yourselves for a second. And once I find this, you're gonna see this and say, "Ooh, that's kind of crazy." Anyway, let me tell you what the story is. The story is that Dementia Joe has told Kamala, "Back off. Go sit in a corner. You can't do anything else anymore." Let me see if this is it. And I've heard a couple people say it. I can't seem to find it right now because it's so buried in this guy's profile. But that's what has been said. Right now, that's what they're saying, is that Biden has told her, you're no longer needed here. So imagine if that is indeed what has happened, and that's why we're not seeing her, because I forget how it was worded, but that in other words, that's what he said. Can't find it. I'll find it next time. But imagine that Biden has told Kamala that you're no longer, your services are no longer needed here. Whew. That would be jaw-dropping at this point. I just saw it. I posted it in the group on X. Okay, that gives me a great thing to go to then. I can show people. If you want to join our private group in X, do this. Go here. We're rapidly approaching 10,000 people in this group. 10,000 people in our private X group. If you'd like to join, please go ahead and jump on in there. You can post, you can comment, you can do all kinds of things. We'd love to have you. I'm trying to see if I can find this post. It's free. It's 100% free. And we'd love to have you over there. And why I did that, just to let you know, a lot of people said, hey, start a YouTube membership. YouTube membership. Number one, I didn't want to have to pay anybody. And number two, when you have a YouTube membership, you get a little emoji, and then you get to do a comment. You can't do anything. In our X group, like everything else on X, you can, and you'll see if you join, there are other people creating, 10,000 people creating and commenting and posting videos and posting links. Like the person just said, she goes, I saw it and I posted it, and I can't find it because it's so fast and all the stuff that's going on in here. But you can see it yourself. I mean, it's just so much content in there, and I'm just one of the people. Barry, I remember Trump fired John Bolton because he was a loose cannon. Yep, he constantly backstabbed Trump at every turn after firing. I think he wrote a negative. Yes, he did. But he still gets on television to trash Trump and all his picks. The video I posted this afternoon, which was an excerpt of the live show, if you haven't seen it, was John Bolton himself was a recess appointment, and he was complaining that Trump was using recess appointments. I'm like, you can't make this up. You really can't make this stuff up. Thank you. Such a good group. So much information available. Yeah, it is literally a cornucopia of different news. Let's see what else here we got. 800. Yeah, Scott, you must have just got to that part of the show. $824 billion. All right, so let me go ahead and acknowledge the super chats. But as you can tell, I'm back. I wasn't sick. Everything was fine. I just, had to sit with the wife, took some time off, recharged. I can tell you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'll be live again at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I'm not doing a 7 o'clock tonight on Saturday. Going to spend some extra time on the weekend with the wife. tomorrow, 3 o'clock, we'll be doing a video as well. And then probably about 11 or 12, I'll launch a pre-recorded video about something. All right, Marcus Anderson, thank you very much. Kamala was a DEI puppet, so of course she's no longer needed. Yeah, I cannot believe, though, that he publicly told her to just go sit in a corner. She's not there. Notice, reason why I put credence in it is like she's nowhere. This is the Vice President of the United States. Nowhere. You're done. Take the next 2 months off. Go to the beach with your husband and his girlfriend, and then do whatever you want to do. Because at this point, I don't need you. Don't want to be around you. My wife hates you. Obviously, Jill wants nothing to do with you. Go. Don't ever need to talk to you again. You don't need to come to the inauguration. You don't need to come to the, when we exchange the keys. Melania ain't going to talk to you. I'm pretty sure J.D. Vance wants nothing to do with you. So, just go away. Randy, did we really think dismantling the cabal was going to be easy? Nope, not going to be easy. Not at all. I think about this says, from Donald, I think about 325,000 children missing and the evil little elf doing experiments on cats and dogs. Now I think about what Hitlerian scientists did to people. Whew. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's disgusting when you think about it. Let's see, next thing here. F. Joe Biden, did you see the AI of Joe talking to Obama? No, I haven't seen that. You gotta send me a link. Just another knucklehead. $800 billion each year. They are missing trillions of dollars. They failed their 7th audit. Isn't that 7 times 864? I don't know what the missing audit was for the last couple of years. They never even passed an audit and may not have even done one. Yeah, Donald actually says that. So the $824 billion would be in addition to the almost $2 trillion they can't find. Margie Webster from Appalachia up there says, and if people qualified for the 750, that's right, it was a loan. You didn't even get it. Hey, you got to pay us back. What an insult to people. What an absolute insult. Absolutely crazy. And we got here, Demon of Cybertron. The shadow thing is basically the Confederate 2.0. And those people went to jail. Jimmy Jones, for help with a Bible purchase. Thank you for your ministry of saving souls and saving America. So those of you guys who don't know, on Thursday, most Thursdays, I think every other week, we do a Bible, not a Bible, but a prayer vigil. You're all welcome to come. And right now we're buying Bibles. Ashley is buying Bibles and sending them to people who ask for it. What can I, an old lady, do? Well, number one, you're not old. And number two, join our X community. There are a lot of people there. Think of it like Twitter Lite. They'll help you learn what to do and how to say it. And there's a lot of good people in there. You could reach out to me, Ashley, any of the mods. We're all in there. Cuba war is coming sooner or later, says Tomcat. Who knows what these people are going to do? They're going to get desperate. MJ Walla, thank you. Please share content, spread the truth. We the people must be strong in faith. Yeah. Wow. Angel Flight, thank you very, 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 very much. That'll help out also getting more Bibles out. Yeah. I'd like you to really begin using your voice. These people hide. And this is why it's so funny. Joy Reid can make that video on her show because there's no interaction. She can look inside a teleprompter with her big ethno-fascist words and spew whatever she wants about Pete Hegseth and the autocrat Donald Trump. We all can say the big words, Joy. We can all say it, but you're a phony fraud because you decided you're going to get off Twitter. You don't want to engage with real people and hear what they have to say. So the other ones, let them know. Let them know. Trump will prevail. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that, again, that goes to the rhinos out there, Murkowski and Collins and everybody else. Barry, they hate Trump so much that they even investigated the day he was born when Trump beat on the doctor. Oh, that's too funny. A lot of people are telling me that $750 was a loan. That adds insult to injury, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does for sure. If you're qualified, I didn't know that. All right, so somebody looked it up and said the Pentagon budget in 2024 was $841 billion. So that $824 billion must have been over a couple years that they couldn't find. Wow. Yep, I'm understanding now. The 750 wasn't a loan. I mean, it wasn't a grant. It was a loan. Yikes. Wow. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy when you think about it. That's just not right. That's just not right. Let me see. I don't want to miss anybody, so that's why I have to keep looking and go through this. Okay, here we go. GFRI, thank you very much. Going down here from Canada. B. Turner says the Democrats have announced a shadow government. It might be just a matter of time before attacks towards Republican Americans. Well, we know what FEMA did. You know specifically right now that FEMA decided they would not help people who showed any sort of Trump memorabilia. They skipped your house. To me, that almost is should be an act of treason right there. Tina Menard, thank you very much. I've learned so much through you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I mean, that to me is indeed an act of treason. You turned your back on the American people. You have one job. Your job is to make sure the American people are taken care of, and you chose not to. That's horrible. Freedom fan, Barry, he himself wouldn't nickel for rabid shadow president. Who else? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this and how they avoid getting prosecuted at this point. And he named a whole bunch of Democrats who said, we're down with it. Oh, okay. I hope you don't tweet about it. You were the dummy that went on television. Terry Bello, you can't bargain with the devil. No fence sitting. Choose ye this day whom you will serve, God or Satan. Very well said. Just another knucklehead again. Where is that? Okay. Shadow whatever. They don't have impeachment now because they lost all three. Let him spread. He can say what he wants. Yeah, exactly. Shadow government. But I want to know who's the head of your shadow government. Let me know that. Cassandra Paquin, Barry, did Scott Baio really set free the P. Diddy? I don't know. I will have to look at that. I hadn't heard that, but I will definitely check to see if he did. Cassandra Paquin again. He won in a landslide. That was easy for now to clean out the vipers on both sides. I knew there would be some Republicans that would have a problem. I didn't know there would be this many. Gianna Norman, they're openly talking about coup because they got away with it once now. It's no big deal. We did it before and we'll do it again. Black Yellow Flash, Barry, these people are so far off the reservation they might as well be wearing spacesuits. They either one or two things, crazy, stupid, or both. Yeah, I would say that. Sherry Lovesy. Above all else, we need to pray to God that he will not allow the evil to continue. God bless you, Barry, for your steadfastness in sharing the news. Thank you very, very much. Just another knucklehead again. Thank you, brother. They are going to destroy the country, their own abomination of desolation. That is why prophecy has said that Trump is the last president of the United States. Heavy, bro. That's heavy. Hey, Barry, where's this one? Leon Combs. Hey, Barry, refresh people's memory what the penalty for treason is. Swing low. That's the penalty for treason, as well it should be. And I don't understand how you just went out there and said we're going to form a shadow government, shadow cabinet. Todd Doyle, they have to realize the shadow government will not work. The military will be loyal to Trump and the Constitution, as will the police. Plus, their shadow government doesn't have a lot of people who believe in 2A. So if they don't believe in 2A, your shadow government is basically a bunch of guys playing bridge with hair buns. who have no girlfriends. They're soy boys. Good luck with that. This is from Jeremy Hughes. These commies have to go, and the public needs to recognize their tactics of doublespeak and mashing up words to fit their narratives. Absolutely correct. Just another knucklehead again. NBC rhetoric is losing. They're going to be sold to whoever might need to lose their money. She will be selling popsicle sticks on QVC before long. I don't think she's got that look. I don't think she's going to be able to say, hey, hey. The only reason you're on MSNBC because MSNBC probably feels bad for you. I don't think she can get a seat on The View at this point. Just saying. Elena, what the S is happening in Pennsylvania? That's a good question. That is a good question. How can this stuff even be happening in the United States? Doesn't make any sense. This is from Hart Say, remember, we the people own this country. You in office will work for us. That's what I'm saying. Use your voice at this point. It costs you nothing. Whether you're on your phone or on a keyboard, use your voice. Be heard. See, that's something we couldn't do as recently as 2 years ago. Twitter would have banned you and deleted you. And now you got Elon Musk saying, bring it. Let's talk. And that's why these people can't take it. They're running. They're hiding. They don't want to be called out the way they're being called out. They don't understand it, and it's driving them absolutely butt poop crazy. I'm not sure if I saw this one earlier. It's okay. Here we go. Lynn Goldmeyer, why is Joe so lively at this point? He looks these days like, you're right. He looks happy. He looks relieved. Actually, think about it. He ain't got to do nothing for the next couple of months. If he was doing anything to begin with. Thank you, Rays. Roger Gardner, thank you. You need a press pass. Imagine. Yes, I'm Barry Cunningham from Fanfare Patriots. I live in Florida, yeah, so I could. But here's what I understand too. This is pretty cool. From what I understand, and Trump did this his first time. He used to bring in a bunch of computers, and he would do the press conference by Zoom. Now that, if he brings that back, that would be perfect. That would be perfect, where people around the country and around Robin goes, okay, so let me talk to Steve in Oklahoma. Great. What's your question, Steve? And Barry from Boca. Hey, how you doing? That would be awesome. You would see the people in the back from the mainstream media just crawl up and die. Britta Evans, thank you for Bibles. Yes, we will do that. That was so cool, by the way. So many people, just during the prayer session, they're like, where do I even get a Bible? And I knew at that point we were talking to people who wanted to understand, get closer to the Lord. And so, yeah, sending out Bibles is awesome. Steve Christensen, Common Sense Barry, thank you. And my husband from Suzanne, can you shut up, please? He just had dinner, so he wants to go out for a walk, so he's growling. Suzanne Evangelo, my husband watches you every show. So do I. Thank you very much. Now, I didn't do the 7:30 show last night. And because I didn't do the 7:30 show last night, I was remiss because we didn't get to give away the 3 hoodies, which I'm sure people wanted to know who's winning the 3 hoodies. So let me go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to give away 3 hoodies right now as we speak. Let me go ahead and clear the screen so you guys can see it. And all right, here we go. We got the winner. Drum roll, Jimmy Newton. I don't know if that's a woman or a man, but Jimmy Newton just won a free Trump hoodie. I know some of you guys live up north where it's getting kind of cold, so this is going to be, they're really warm. They're really warm. Let's see, live draw. We do it again. Cheryl Simpson, you're a winner. Hold on, I got to check this from... SV just said we just broke 10,000 members in the community. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. on the X community. And pick another. Third one, and drum roll. Tom, you didn't send me the drum roll yet, but Susie McGuire is the third person. So we just gave away 3 more hoodies. That's what we do here. It's fun. Love it. Love it a lot. SV said we just broke 10,000, and that's for, again, if you guys want to go join us in the fanfareshop.org/group, it'll take you directly to the free private X group over there, and you can learn your way. And yes, you can venture out of it. You don't have to stay right there in our group. You have the ability to go into the main Twitter platform or X platform, but this gets you. It's filtered. It's moderated. You're not going to see any really nasty stuff. You might see somebody swear here or there, but for the most part, you won't get trolled. If you do get trolled, we're in there. There's like 6 of us that are moderators. You just have to let us know, and we'll go ahead and take it down. So thank you all for tuning in on a Saturday afternoon. I'm sure you had a lot to do. You could have done. And I love it when I look up here and I go, I get to the end of the show, and there's still 12,000 people here. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see you at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And thanks for coming. Talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, if you get seizures, don't watch this.